Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the JPU Show, the podcast chock full of practical and helpful advice for podcasters of all skill levels. Now, I won't pretend like this is not the first episode in like literally a year. I know it's been a minute, but to quote the legendary Rakim, it's been a long time, and I should have left you without a strong pod to step to, but we're back today. You press play. And that's what's important right now, right? Let's not talk about the hiatus and how long it's been. We're here now. We're in the present, okay? This show is brought to you by the JAX Podcasters United Group, the home for podcasters and audio creators in Northeast Florida. I'm your host, as well as a co-founder of the JPU. My name is Badr Milligan. And today I'm joined by some friends and fellow podcasters to talk about a new podcast documentary film called Age of Audio. I don't think I can express to you how excited I am to say those words. Podcast documentary film, a film about this medium that I have devoted so many years of my life to. It's exciting. All right. This documentary has been described by critics as the definitive history of audio podcasting. The movie explores podcasting's wild rise from basement mics to billion-dollar deals. It includes some very candid and intimate conversations with industry pioneers like Mark Maron is in this documentary, Ira Glass, Julie Snyder, Ronald Young Jr., Kevin Smith is in the film. I mean, anyone who is anyone in podcasting is in this film. Now, the film isn't available worldwide just yet. There is a trailer that you can watch on YouTube, and I believe if you go to ageofaudio.com, you can actually sign up to get access to, it's aoamovie.com. I'm having a link to all of this in the show notes, so don't worry about URLs. But you can sign up to get like a link to watch the first 10 minutes. I say all that to say this. It's not available worldwide just yet. But if you're in the Jacksonville or Northeast Florida area on Wednesday, June 3rd, you will have the opportunity to see this documentary for free on a big screen at WJCT Studios. All right. That's right. JPU is back. We got our first event, and it's a free screening of this film. We're not only showing the film for free, but we're also hosting a special Q&A panel with the director himself, Sean Michael Colon. He'll be in attendance here in Jacksonville for that screening. We're doing a Q&A panel with him alongside some local podcasters. They're going to be talking about the making of the film and what it's like being a creator in this age of audio. So, that's big shout outs and thanks to our partners at WJCT Public Media and amazing sponsors like Buzzsprout and Podmatch. They helped us put this together and, helping us get the community back. So if you're a podcaster yourself, or maybe you're a documentary nut, or maybe, hell, if you've ever wondered how podcasting came to be, this is the event for you. Once again, come join us Wednesday, June 3rd at 6 p.m. It's a free event, but you have to RSVP. There will be a link in this episode show notes to get tickets. Get them while you can, all right? I have a feeling this will be a sold-out event. I mean, something like this is unique to the space, all right? So check it out. Now, that brings me to this episode. I had the opportunity to watch the film in its entirety a little early, and so did my two guests. So we're going to do a spoiler-free review of the film, and mainly talk about the film's larger themes, all right? Like what we got out of it as podcasters, as creators ourselves, what we learned about the history of the medium, and what indie podcasters, what you as a podcaster, as a fellow creator can get out of it. So with that being said, let's bring on our guest of honors today, all right? Today, I'm joined by two people I can confidently call colleagues, friends, and inspirations for what we do here at the JPU. First up is Mr. Al P. He's a podcaster, founder of the MPN Podcast Network, as well as a rapper, a professor, a DJ, a consummate professional. Al, what's up? Welcome to the show, brother.
What's happening, y'all? How y'all feeling? Thanks for having me on the show, man.
Hell yeah. Got to make it happen, man. It's good to have you back. And last, and certainly last, the next guy.
This will never end.
Yeah, no, the jokes is going to fly today.
Let me get my games ready. I'm going to just do this instead today.
Right.
And just
Next up, also joining us is the founder and president of the award-winning nonprofit organization GAAM, Game Arts and Music. He's also organizing the upcoming Creatorverse Conference taking place here in Jacksonville on June 13th and the 14th. It's going to be a 2-day experience designed specifically for the modern creator. Ladies and gents, let's boo Ryan Paul Thompson.
Boo! Boo! Oh, boo! Where's the boo sound effect? I expected.
If I had more time today and I was responsible, I would have loaded a hell of a booze. But
so I got to give my respect to Mr. Al Pete as well, because
yeah,
I'm
man,
definitely
we are
my guy.
amidst greatness,
dude. Such a prolific.
Yeah, that's well said. That's what you know. What, man, I not to brag, but I do feel like the panel
You do it
that
a lot.
I'm among right now is appropriate for this conversation. Like I said in the intro, Age of Audio is a unique. I think it's a special film. I think obviously a lot of bias here as someone who's devoted the last 14 years of his life to podcasting and a huge champion of audio podcasting. I was blown away by the quality of this film. I don't quite know what I thought I was getting into when I started the film, but by the end of it, I can confidently say I damn near got teary-eyed by the end. I was like, this is for me. This is for us.
We've all felt like it.
Yeah.
Like, yep, I remember being there. I still am there.
Yeah. And obviously, my co-host, my fellow co-founder of the JPU, my wife, the amazing big brain Blythe Brumleaf, we watched it together. She couldn't join us for this here podcast today, but we watched the film together, and we both looked at each other like, yeah, this film is that. So I want to start off by asking, how did you guys feel by the end of the film? Like, any thoughts, any feelings that you want to share? Al, I'll start with you.
What did I feel? Excuse me, at the end of the movie? Optimistic, hopeful. But I would say that's from like a smaller scale, because podcasting is such a lonely sport. So it was definitely a reflection to see that people were going through like the same kind of issues or same type of thoughts that one would have in this space or whatever. And because I'm people that feel like they're alone in this industry. You have all these questions and doubts and concerns and positivity. You got all these things. So, but you're still thinking that it's just me thinking this. So to see somebody else kind of be in that same boat of you might not been all of the questions and thoughts and the emotions that they were going on. You still felt connected to like the main character of the story. So the story, the person that the story was drawn upon, and just having all those resources to kind of back to support the emotions and thoughts or whatever. I was like, all right, I feel
vindicated,
like,
right?
Yeah, I feel like, okay, I'm good to go. I can go back at it again for sure.
Yeah. And to Al, I'm glad you brought it up. I do want to mention too that the documentary, aside from having interviews and conversations with some of the folks I mentioned in the intro, that the film does follow one particular person's journey, and that is the journey of indie podcaster and producer Ronald Young Jr., which it feels weird calling him an indie podcaster, because when you watch the film, you see that he had he won a ton of awards for his podcast. Wait for it. So. Yeah, it was cool to see the podcasting through the lens of an indie
spoiler first. People didn't know that. No, I'm kidding.
That's why I ain't say no names. I was like,
in the description.
Man,
I don't know. It's weird to call like these spoilers for a documentary. But look, Ronald Young Jr., the film follows him. I won't say anymore. I'm getting chastised for it. Ryan, I want to go to you, man. Let me ask you this. What was the most... So was there anything surprising, without giving away any more spoilers that I guess I have? What was the most surprising thing that you learned about the history of podcasting while watching the doc?
Like the part when the dinosaurs showed up, like that was amazing. Like I can't believe that happened. Like everyone needs to watch until like an hour, 10-minute mark. No, what was the question again? I'm stupid. Now I forgot what you said.
I guess what was your general impression of the film?
That we're all always going to be broke. Like that's pretty much.
Ryan, that's way too. That's a depressing truth. We didn't.
That
should have been a spoiler warning, right?
Sorry,
there.
My bad. No, so I will.
I'm kidding.
I will echo a lot of what Al said. Like, there's something validating in knowing that you're not alone, and from seeing this, and it's funny, like watching it, I remember a lot of the events that happened throughout the course of the documentary. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when this announcement happened. I remember when this and this was happening. But it's very, it's cool to see new forms of technology still being considered as art, because I think when you're seeing the plight and the struggle of somebody trying to create a podcast and to essentially be a storyteller on a new form, a new medium, but it's still the same tale for every artist on every medium. Like, it is a struggle. You do have bouts of loneliness. You do have bouts of trying to find. You don't really do it with the initial motivation of trying to make money, and then you get to like a crossroads where, like, God, I really love this and I'm impacting people. Can I keep doing this and sustain what I'm doing? Like, I think we all kind of get to that crossroad. Like, those are the thoughts that really kind of echoed to me watching it, especially, again, without doing spoilers. You're like, yeah, I remember these moments. I remember feeling like this. Still go through that to this day.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'm glad that you brought up the technology, because that was a note that I had, is that I've been podcasting since 2012. And to me, when I look back, I'm like, wow, I was, I had to code my own like XML file. I had to do a lot, a lot of manual stuff to upload a podcast. And then you watch this doc and, they're going from the beginning, like the origin of the first audio file uploaded to an RSS feed in 2001, and then Adam Curry dropping his first podcast. What was it called? The Daily Source Code in 2004. So for me, it's like, wow, there is, what is that? 8 years of history in this medium that I thought I knew so much about, that was like brand new to me. And then also I wrote a note here that this is a film focused on audio podcasting. So the voice is the most important thing, the production value, the audio quality. So, these faces, these voices that I've heard, like, I've been listening to This American Life for years. I know what Kevin Smith looks like, so that's a different thing. But like, to have Ira Glass on camera, talking about his experience, I thought was remarkable, because I don't know how often he's done interviews about that. Maybe I just have never seeked them out like that, and they're out there. But to see like Ira Glass on film, Adam Curry on the screen, even behind the scenes folks like Dave Weiner, the co-creator of the RSS, Julie Schneider, who I think is a producer on This American Life. I did enjoy that these pillars and these icons within the medium were had a chance to be on the spotlight, to have their face forward and tell their story. I don't know how often they've told, their story of like this early young medium, and like it to like hear them talk about its growth, I thought was like really remarkable. I guess Al, was there anything like just brand new to you that like you had no idea about? Like, was there anything like surprising that you learned about the history of podcasting that was like maybe revolutionary or new to you?
The history of podcasting, maybe it was just a little bit. I mean, I feel like I knew the ground levels of what they was speaking on, but I guess just the players of who did it was the ones that was that I learned on. When I knew the history of it, I knew about the conception of it, how it was done, stuff like that. But as far as like the actual players, it was cool to see like the actual players and the people that was behind American Life and radio. What is it? Radiotopia. Yeah, like how it even happened. Like even the fact of like how podcasting spawned from like the radio part. Like I knew all of that stuff, but like the players of it, I was getting straight game on. Like I was like, okay, this person did this, and I might have heard a name or two in my readings and my research and studies, but to put these people put the names with the faces, it always brings an enriching type of feeling.
Well said. Damn. Yeah, absolutely. I think too, another aspect of the film that I think really resonated with me is just the emphasis about the democratic nature of podcasting and just RSS in general, right? Like, as well, and like its close relationship with technology. Ryan had mentioned technology earlier, but I've always associated with podcasting, I don't know, with Apple products. So to learn that like the RSS technology was in podcasting was well even before Apple decided to launch the the podcast, just kind of I don't know, as a tech head and a lifelong podcaster, it just kind of further solidified why I appreciate the democratic nature of podcasting and how it is such a powerful medium for people to like get their voice out. I think Al, you mentioned radio and TV. So whenever the doc talked about how television, how that replaced radio. Where was I going with that? I don't know where I was going with that. I was on a tire. I was getting passionate.
Technology, like your heart was coming out. So we felt
it. It'll get back to me, Ryan. I want to ask you, which voice or story in the film resonated most with you, in terms of your journey as a creator, as an organizer of creators and events? Was there anyone in particular?
It's I don't want to. If I go down this path, I know I'm gonna spoil stuff.
Just I mean, I feel like
let me say it like this.
Yeah.
What really resonated with me is how I really look at podcasting as very much like punk and indie, kind of like the zine community when it comes to, I guess, digital storytelling, and seeing the transition. I remember the transition period from when Rogan and Gimlet and all that stuff was starting to happen, and when kind of old money was starting to recognize the potential for podcasting and starting to experiment with it without fully knowing that that's always the historical pattern. As a new technology or platform arises, big heavy money gets kind of thrown into it without really knowing what it is, and you kind of hope that the players that stand tall at the end of it are the ones that have the best of intentions for the rest of the community. And seeing some of that and those concerns, like you see some of the bigger players, like they knew it was happening, like to an extent as it happens, and they're like, oh man, how is this going to change what we're doing? Like, and they're doing it with the best of intentions. Like you hear them talk about, like their concern is getting the creators, the actual podcasters, paid for the work and the effort and the art that they're creating. But it's like, at what cost? And I think that's something that echoes within all of us. Like we've all been through that stage. Like, okay, this is the crossroad. I can hopefully get the team of people that have been walking with me to help me create this thing. I can break them off a little bit of bread, but like, what is this going to cost me? That part kind of struck a chord with me.
Hold up.
I didn't name any names, even though you asked, but.
Sorry, you guys froze up on my end just for a little bit. Sorry about that. Ryan, that sounded really good. I'm sorry, y'all froze up on my end just a little bit. But Ryan, I think you actually finish the thought I was trying to get across, which is the idea of like, getting to watch the growth from this like very, and I love how they emphasize like how much of a hobby how podcasting is always like, it was born out of like this passion to get your your thoughts out, to engage. It was like you said, like it was like this punk vibe to it, where like these people that normally wouldn't be picked up by traditional radio or broadcast now have this ability to reach their target audience, whether that target audience has got spending power or is a popular group or is a niche group, whatever it may be. It's like, hey, that doesn't matter. If you've got a voice, whether they say, with the invention of the RSS, it's like, if you got a microphone and you can set up an RSS feed, you can get your voice out there.
And you hear them talking about the FCC. Like that was something like to be able to break those restraints, being able to now have a platform where you don't have this other governing body deciding what you can and can't say. Like that's tremendous for an artist.
Yeah. Now the film, I guess on that topic, the film touches on a lot about the growth of podcasting from this, its independent beginnings to becoming a massive industry, like during 2020 and so forth, and then kind of cooling off, right? Leaving a lot of podcast companies, production companies, kind of like wondering, where do we go now, right? Like, do we make the pivot to video? Do we stay true to audio? Do we continue to try to, seek out sponsors, etc.? And I'm just curious, as creators ourselves, how do you balance keeping like that indie spirit alive while the industry has become more professional, while there's more, bigger players around us? Like, I guess what comes to mind?
Go first,
I
Al. I
don't
want to give
know.
grace. I'm constantly just doing this because it's
What?
Is there a middle ground there? Al, in your experience, how have you kind of kept that indie spirit alive while also like building and growing, like the NPN network and all the podcasts that you manage?
I'm I'm kind of stuck on that because I don't know, and maybe because I'm in it, that's the reason why it's kind of hard for me to illustrate what how that looks. But I do think about situations that I've currently been in when it comes to like um having like the right team around you. So like for me, one of my pain points with NPN is me doing the development part. Like going out and having, making the relationships and building the relationships and connecting with people who I think would align with the pillars of NPN, LP, stuff like that. But I'm so in production mode to where I don't really have the time to do that. So usually when you're in like production mode, at some point you're thinking about, from an indie side of things, I'm always going to think about the consumers, the people that consume my content. And so I'm more focused on them most of the time than thinking like, all right, let me try to shoot for Sony or or Ecamm or something like that. And then you get in some of the situations where you'd have been down that road 50 million times, and then you like, all right, especially when you deal with somebody that gives you like some form of restrictions or tell you can't do this, then the third, and you like, man, I'd just be better off doing this by myself. So I know for me, I'm always gonna have that indie spirit from my side as well as how I provide to the consumers. So middle ground wise, I mean, I think that's where like the morals and stuff come in. And I know for me, I'll DJ a bunch of gigs, put money to the side, and be able to do what I initially want to do. But I still keep the morals as if I'm walking around like a top company. You know what I'm saying? So I just talking on it now, that sounds like that would be like the middle ground. But
Yeah.
while I'm in it, I don't be knowing, honestly. I always still feel like there's some room that I can adjust or pay attention to. But, when it's time to grind, it's time to grind. So, boots on the ground, head down,
Yeah.
focus or whatever. But I make sure that I keep my morals in place and principles and stuff like that when it comes to the stakeholders and shareholders.
Yeah, no, that's well said. I think Ryan, you made a joke about this. After watching the film, you were a little depressed. But
I'm always depressed though.
I think I think I took it in a different light, right? Because with the film being such a focus,
you don't know better yet. You don't know what the world's like.
Tell it to the grays in my beard when it grows out, right? Yeah. Thank you, though. But I think with the film having such a focus on audio podcasting, I think it's fair to say audio podcasting, its big heyday, its big glory days are, I think it's safe to say, behind. You know what I'm saying? It's like video is now kind of like the automatic thing that people think about when they think of video, podcasting. I know personally, if I mention I have a podcast, it's like, oh, where are you at on YouTube? What's your YouTube channel? I think audio only podcasting is back. It's almost like cyclical. It's back to being for the hobbyist, for the passionate. I think the fly by night money, the fake money is what I wrote here on my notes. I think the fake money is out. And now the passion is the only thing that really remains. Not to say that you can't, make it as an audio podcaster, that you can't like build a business and etc. But I think it really is about the passion. If you're not passionate about your subject matter, about your show, if you're not willing to, what did Ronald say in this? Are you willing to continue to do the best thing that you can do week in, week out? And whether you get 100 downloads or 1,000,000 downloads, I think it really comes back to like the passion of the medium of audio and voice. Ryan, it sounds like you're about to chime in.
Yeah, so a few things. I guess the more you go through this, you start seeing the cycles, right? I think y'all mentioned that earlier. And so it's almost like you got to know how to surf. and you got to know like, okay, now the big waves are coming, and you got to know when to ride them. So like even now, technology is starting to. There's like an upsurge now of going back to analog, right? Is it the vast majority of users? Not at all, but is it enough to where people can, like you're referring to, like capitalize and actually then go forward? Like the time is coming where, hey, doing a really authentic lo-fi podcast will be very prominent to like a younger audience, and for a nostalgia factor as well. Won't overtake the other side, but can you then put together a product that is simply towards that community? And I think during that phase, you're going to find some of that fake money will jump in again, because they're going to be, oh, we're authentic now because we're doing it with the lo-fi like that. It's always going to come and go like that. But also to the indie part, I think the people on this panel are very much, and I love that you brought up the morality, because I think the morality and the ethics, the integrity is important to everybody here.
Yeah.
And I hate saying this, but I think we have to acknowledge and make space for maintaining and being indie is not everybody's goal. You know, some people want to do it with the idea to make money, and we know how that's going to go. But also some people are the cold-blooded ones that will go in with a strategic business plan of like, here's how I'll make money off of the other creators. So like it's weird. Like there's the indie component that I think most of us live in, and then there's like the cold-hearted business component that we know we cross paths with every now and then. We've all met that guy that's like, hey, we're going to get you all together. We'll do this, and I'm going to strike this deal. And you're like, bro, I just want to make some cool shit. I don't want to hear all this other noise.
Yeah.
And I think you have to have a certain level of audacity to stay being indie.
And
like
I think
go ahead. Sorry, Badr.
No. I love the train of thought you're going. One thing about the film that I found interesting about, you know, the main character's journey is that he kind of hits the ceiling of like what he's able to accomplish in this space. You know, he's winning a bunch of awards. He gets signed on with a network. He gets to maintain control of you know, his sponsorships, and he's doing all the right things: the hustle, the attention to detail, quality audio editing, like story, you know, like amazing work. And yeah, at first, you know, it's definitely challenging to see that and being like, wow, if this guy has put in all this work and and feels like he hit this plateau, what can I do? But I thought by the end of it, in a weird way, I was even more inspired by his dedication to, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm putting the best thing I can possibly put out there. And there is a sense of pride that comes with that is greater than the money, than the accolades. You know, like, yes, I'm still striving for that and working towards it. Like how great would it be, especially with like, you know, I'm talking to podcasters here. It would be amazing if we could all get paid based on our dedication and commitment to our shows. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was able to get paid based on me being consistent for putting out a podcast and the best podcast I could possibly do for the last 14 years, that would be amazing. But that's not the reality. So it's like, am I doing this because I love it? Or am I doing this for other, you know, goals? And I think at the end of the day, it really is up to you. Like we always say at our events when we meet new podcasters, it's like your definition of success will vary. And I think it's very important in the beginning to define, what does success look like to you? And ask yourself, what does success look like to you if it's not money? You know what I'm saying? Are you still willing to do that?
Right. That was one of the things that I love that they spoke on in the documentary, the whole how they broke down the business of it. Like how that came about. And it's only because, so I have a group of friends, shouts out to the Uma Creative Group, they're my pod family. But I always talk about the capitalist aspect of things. And I'm like, I can just sense when people get into this game and just want to make money. And at first it used to just irritate me like crazy, but then it was like, look, that's what people want to do. That's fine. But I know for me, there is a form of integrity there. Now, in the documentary, Mr. Young, I didn't get that feel of him. I feel like he had reached to a point where he rightfully was like, you know, I want to get paid off this. And I feel like
absolutely,
when he mentioned that part, I was like, I understand completely. You know what I'm saying? But
absolutely.
But there was a form of like dedication and work, and you could tell that he was extremely passionate about it or whatever. And I feel like there's a healthy balance with that. And at days I'm like, okay, it is okay to be like, hey, I'm worth this, I'm worth that, and still be passionate about it versus the cold-hearted capitalist people that that exist in it. And the way
You're lucky this is a PG show, Ryan. I have a certain word I can tell you. That was funny. That was good. No, Al, that is I 100% agree with you there. Like someone like Ronald who is passionate. It's okay to be like, hey, I am worth this. I am putting this much effort. It is okay to be like, I would like to make something back. You know, if I'm putting all my heart and soul into it, it's not crazy to want to make money off of this thing that, you know, you're passionate about, that you do well. I think what the film also does a good job in reminding us is that, you know, sometimes you got to curb your expectations. You know, like maybe the ceiling right now is here for you there. Are you willing to accept that? I think it's definitely a delicate dance. Ryan, did you have something to add?
Nothing serious. I was just trying to think of something else inappropriate to say. No, it was very sobering, and it was inspiring too. Like, especially seeing, again, #spoiler, seeing the accolades and the achievements, the critical acclaim, and I think everybody here, I think, has experienced it. And I try to tell people this so often. It's like, oh, like you're getting this award or this person's recognizing you. It's like, one, you always got to be aware of why the people are recognizing you and what they're going to get out of it. And then two, the award will not change your life 9 times out of 10. Like the next day, like, oh, you went on the news. The next day, nobody's going to care. Your mom saw you and she's happy and she's proud, but the sponsor ain't going to knock on your door because you got on the news station. You know,
that's
and I think,
right now.
And I think that's why it's important to, one, celebrate your wins, you know, whether big or small, yourself, to make a big deal about it yourself.
It means something to you, what you're creating. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. And I think also, you know, as I want to start transitioning to, you know, talking about Creatorverse, but also like the larger kind of community that is the Jax Podcasters Unite. I think that's also, it also lends itself to finding a community that appreciates, that understand, you know, like in the doc, there's a very short segment about editing, which to me was such a smart move to include. Like I looked at
you
Blythe.
Love some editing. I looked
at Blythe. I'm like, oh, this podcast has got it all. We talking about the hardships of editing? Like, come on, like this doc.
You know, Badr was like tapping Blythe in that part. Like, yo, this is me.
Hey, I was in the middle of editing of an episode while. But I think it lends itself to like why community is so important, to find like your people that you can bounce ideas that feel it, right? Like that feel you in that regard. Which leads me to my next question. You know, for someone who's maybe listening or thinking about starting a podcast or some sort of creative project here in Jacksonville, well, let me take a step back. We all have experience. I mean, Al, you literally run a network of a podcast network with fellow Jacksonville podcasters. Ryan, you have a whole community creator, you know, Jax creators of, you know, dealing with not only podcasters, but artists and content creators, etc. In your personal opinion, both of you, Ryan, you kick it off. What do you think makes the local scene, what makes the local Jax scene here special, whether that be the podcast scene or just the larger creator scene?
I don't know if this is independent to Jacksonville. I think this is probably something that's more centric to local in general, like in any city. I think any city or any area where it really comes down to the people having to pick themselves up and to really scrape and crawl and achieve these things by the merit of one another and not have a bigger ecosystem that supports it, that kind of carries it through. Like for every other day, people in Jacksonville talk about like what things are like in other cities. That is like the ongoing comparison. Like, oh, but it's like this in Miami. Jacksonville can be more of a tech hub like how it was in Austin. Or like there's always this comparison, right? And those other cities do have a lot of resources and establishments already there. But when you don't have those things and you're trying to climb up, I think that unifies everybody. I think there's like a unity in the struggle. And I don't want to say it's a Jacksonville only thing. I'm almost positive other cities go through the same thing as they're coming
Ryan,
up.
but look, this is the JPU show, so it can absolutely just be about Jacksonville.
I mean, no, Jacksonville's the best. Duval, I love Jacksonville, but I like to keep it realistic in terms of that, because often we think that, it's us. It's just like, let's be more aware of what it's like in other places, so then we can make the actual intelligent and real conversation and get away from it being, no, it's just us. It's like, no, there's other people like us.
All right,
are we in the good place, or are we in the bad place right now? I don't know. Like,
Al, what do you think, Al, as a well-traveled man, as someone who has interviewed tons of other, creatives, large, big and small, famous and all of that? What do you think makes the local scene here special, specifically in terms of the podcast scene?
Excuse me. It's funny because I'm still finding new people that do podcasts here in Jacksonville. Just the interest and the curiosity that Duval holds, I love that part. It's one thing to love the city, but it's another thing to like admire the city. You know what I'm saying? So, people had this like admiration of us, and it's interesting to see other creators that don't stay here, how they rave of us, and just
that's a good point.
The spirit that we have. Like, I've had so many people come in town and they be like, yo, they love Jacksonville. People that literally have moved here, like for the sake of community or for the sake of the spirit that Jacksonville holds or whatever. So when it comes to the storytellers and the messengers, you know what I'm saying, those folks or whatever, I think that's what makes it great. Plus, we so for me, like I'm north side all day, you know what I'm saying? So I'm from the north side of Jacks, but then I've had conversations with people that grew up on the south side, and just sharing those stories alone, it just bring you into like this whole different world. I remember when I first discovered like 5 Points. Stayed here, majority of my life, and didn't even know 5 Points existed until after I came back from college. And I was just like, wow. So, so it's just that intrigue type of situation. And even with me, I think people love the fact that I have this big spirit of the north side on me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it brings people into those worlds. And I think when you get all those getting into the pot, it just gives us a more of an identification of like who we are and, what we can go further with when it comes to Duval, especially when it comes to podcasting, because we literally can cut on the microphones and talk about it, whether we joking about it, talk about the gaming world, talk about, it's all sports, music for sure, like all of that. So I like the richness, and I like that key identity when it comes to Duval.
Actually, can I jump off that for a second?
Yeah, please.
I want to say, because now I'll give you the answer you actually wanted instead of me getting too deep into shit. Jacksonville does have a great stable of champions. And like, Al, like you're one of those without a doubt. Like, I think there's multiple champions now in this city. Badr, Blythe's one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You can shit on me if it means elevating life. Yeah, go ahead.
But I think there's many of those, and there's enough to cover the multiple areas and cultures and different factions of the city. Like, everybody kind of has one or two people that they look up to. And to your point, I think people coming in from other cities, that is a very unique thing to see one city, because we're so damn huge, has like these multiple cultures. It's like you go from section to section. It's like you walk into another city. Like 5 Points in the beaches, night and day, and each section of the city has its own different champions of the culture of that area. And I think that's really unique to Jacksonville. I think that's very almost intoxicating for someone coming in from the outside.
For sure.
Look, I would be remiss if I didn't champion the local Jacks podcast scene, because Al said something that I want to emphasize, and that's the diversity of the different podcasters that I've had the privilege of meeting and interacting with, for the last 6 years going on with the JP, or 8 years at
8 years.
A lot.
Holy shit!
Wow, 8 years. It just dawned on me. Yeah, almost 8 years of the JP.
Man, she should have left you
throughout
a long time ago.
Ryan, if we weren't really friends, I would punch you. I would punch you through this riverside. But
oh Lord,
I think both of you guys are touching.
I love
on,
both of y'all.
I think the underdog spirit of Jack's creators, the artist, the podcaster, etc., and then the diversity. Like I love that word that you use, Al. The richness of the city, because it is so large. There is so many micro hubs. There is, we you know what I'm saying? It's like, especially in the podcast space, like it is insane. There's not one category, topic, theme, genre, niche, whatever, that is not represented by a local podcaster. So, gents, I wanted to pivot to talking about, give Ryan a chance to talk about Creativerse, but I want to remind the listeners, we have tried to keep this documentary review pretty spoiler free. I think we've succeeded. And once again, Age of Audio, it is not available worldwide yet, but you can definitely watch it yourself if you come to our Age of Audio screening event on Wednesday, June 3rd. All right. We're doing this in partnership with WJCT Public Media. Big shout out to our sponsors, Buzzsprout and Podmatch. It's a free event. Right. It's a free movie. And then a Q&A panel of the director. He's going to be here in Jax. And I guarantee you, when he comes to visit Jax, he's going to be like, damn, this is a great city. All right. So you can catch that live once again, Wednesday, June 3rd. RSVP tickets, link in the show notes for tickets. With that said, let me tell you, which I think, by the way, I'd say all that to say, I think that the screening is going to be a good precursor to the Creativerse event, which is taking place that following weekend, June 13th and the 14th. Ryan, spotlight on you, buddy. The Creativerse conference. It's more than just audio. You guys, you're inviting, this is a conference for artists, content creators, musicians, entrepreneurs, etc. Why is that cross-pollination of creative disciplines like so important for the modern creators?
I think that, one, Al, if you want tickets, I got you. I got to say that first. Like, you just let me know.
He's like, Badr, you're gonna have to pay $100.
Yeah, like, so I'm gonna double the price for Badr. But
Ryan's gonna be like, Badr, use this promo code. It'll hook you up. It's gonna be like
200% plus. No, I think that creators, and I don't think this is just a modern thing. I think when we look back in history, most artists weren't like a single discipline. And when we start now, I think if we open up I always get asked, okay, well, what is a creator? And everybody just like, well, what is it? What is it? I was like, it's more about like what adjective you want to put in front of it. Because everybody creates different things, like whether you create music, if you're a storyteller, you're an artist, maybe you do things through, like, again, a lot of people live stream. And I feel like that's another way of like, this is the current day diary of expression. So like there's so many different ways and there's so many different technologies that we really can't define it. Like it'd be kind of foolish to be like, this is the one thing, or these are the 5 things. Like we can't. So even in controversial stuff with AI, I'll say AI so you can get that picked up in the SEO, and then maybe that'll
Thanks, Ryan. There you go.
AI. No. So that's why I think like getting people from the different disciplines together, because frequently we don't have all of the skills. Like we're good at 2 or 3 things, but we really need help on the maybe 3 or 4 other things. Maybe like Al, when you were talking about, you get into that production edit mode, but it's like, well, crap, I need really to spend some time on doing the actual liaison mode and trying to get that other business component done. Or it's like, okay, you're great on the camera and you need someone to do editing. Or, oh, wait, you know what? You don't know anything about sound, but I could do video. And there's so many of us are willing to help one another. Like if we can just get directly to one another and not have to then deal through like a third-party agency or company, like we can help each other directly. There's a guy down the street from me who helped me with my car when the radiator blew. I gave him a few sandwiches. He drove out to Orange Park all on his own to help me out. Someone else needed a website.
My man gave him some sandwiches.
Dude, they weren't even good sandwiches. They were so hard. No, I'm kidding. No, but I took care of him extra because he took care of me. He was like, Ryan, you don't got to do this. I'm like, no, I need to give you more because you just gave me so much. Right. Same thing. Someone needed a website the other day. She got quoted out like $3,000 to do some website changes. I was like, nah, I got you. I can knock this out in like 2 or 3 hours. It's fine. Because we're all the same kind of people. If it was like a cold-hearted business, it'd be a different thing. But I don't think any of us want to be that. We just want to create. That's it.
Brian, your the event is going to have workshops, panels. You've got experts, doing leading these panels and these workshops. What's one or two things that you hope attendees walk away from this conference, learning or get out of it?
I hope they, one, meet somebody else where like a relationship spawns where they can do something more going forward. And two, I hope they hear of somebody else's experiences, really like the failures, and it gives them hope that they can keep going forward. Because I think a lot of people, when you see, if someone can represent a level of success that you're aspiring to get to, and they can tell you about the failures that they've had in trying to get there, it gives you that hope and lets you know that it's okay. But you're, again, very much like the movie, I'm gonna lose money on this shit. But that's the kind of spirit, right? Like, you know that you're going into it not because you're trying to make money. It's because you want to create, you want to get this feeling out of it, and you want to connect with other people. And so that's what I want other people to get out of. You can just meet one person that's going to help kind of stoke those flames within you to keep you going and make something greater. Then it's a success.
All right, Brian, I got one more question for you. And Al, I would love for you to chime in on this one too. But what does a successful creator community look like to you? Like how are events like Creatorverse pushing us toward that goal of like, that ideal, like, hey, Jax has a successful creator community. What does success look like to you?
Success is when I don't have to do this shit anymore and they can do it on their own. No, it's
right. You could have quit years ago.
I know.
You are just stubborn for punishment.
A drug.
And you love community so much. I think you might need to go to rehab for community. I was like, this man loves connection too much.
I feel like he's beyond help. No, like, it's one of those things, I think, very similar to what y'all live in as well. Like, you want to see your community, once people start actually helping one another, and they don't feel the barriers. Actually, I'll say that. There's that part. This is the feel-good part. This is the spiritual, the ethical part that we all want to see in truly having a village. It's like, okay, I need help, and I know someone's got me, and they're not going to judge me for it. Like, or if they can't help me, they're going to help me find somebody else that's going to be able to help me. I want that part to be there. And then the business part of where our creative community needs to start understanding value, and not just, and it's to protect the businesses and the creators. Like, you can't go in saying, well, and you've heard me say this before, hey, I got 2 million views on so-and-so, so I can charge $5,000. Like, bitch, these 3 million people don't live here in Jacksonville. That's not going to help this business. You need to understand, how do you provide value to the businesses that you want to work with? And once you can provide that, then the business can pay you. And if you can keep providing that, then the ecosystem thrives. If you want to work with a national brand, great, do it. But if you want to be able to help your local community, you have to actually be honest with yourself in terms of how you can help your local community, and then represent that truly to that other business and be like, hey, I know I'm bringing in X, so let's figure something out. And it's uncomfortable to have those kind of conversations. We're artists. We just want to make the cool shit. But it's like, you got to know how to go into that uncomfortable space. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Success is when those two things can happen. I guess when we get leveled up from the heart and from the mind, I think then we can actually be a successful community. But I'm going to move anyways. I'm getting out of here. This is my last.
Man, Ryan is like an MCU film. Just when it's like nice and serious, and you're like, "Wow, that was really heartfelt." He's got to ruin it with some corny
I've been playing that Puerto Rico song like every day. Like, I think it's
like, I love. You need to put this on a shirt. When we level up from the heart. That's a good phrase. Al, what about you, man? What does a successful creator community in Jax look like to you?
The people that give, not just be the givers, and the people coming in not being, just being the takers. It need to be it need to be a balance. It need to be a balance, man. Like, it need to be a give take, but and it need to be some reciprocity there. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people come in with that mentality, like, okay, well, either I got burnt by this person, or I done went through so many situations where I got to come in with the business mindset. And it's like, no, a lot of people live off principles and and morals. And I know this is like my second or third time bringing that part up, but I feel like that's definitely true into community.
Keep bringing that
like,
up,
yeah,
please.
Yeah, like, I mean, but people don't have those values like that, and then they come in and then they pollute it. And there's a lot of people out here that genuinely would like to have help, even from an economic standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll bring my DJing hat on in this situation, but if I was in California or if I was in New York, you know what I'm saying, I probably would be able to charge more. But one, I bring the value first and foremost. I bring the value, and I've it's proven. But when you're thinking about the economical aspect of like where we're at and stuff like that, when you get deep into it, these people ain't around here walking with a whole bag of money. And then I'm real big on blessing someone and that comes back to you. I'm really big on that. Like, if you just be good to your people and be there for them, those blessings will come back to you tenfold. And I stand on that like a lot. I've been blessed tremendously on that, but I'm not even looking to get blessed when I'm helping somebody. Sometimes a lot of the stuff that people come to me about, I'm like, all right, cool, boom, 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 boom. I don't even have to think about it. But then on the back end, they'll hit me up 2 or 3 months later. Hey, I got this and da da da. I want to make sure I bless you with it because you brought this value to it. So that's success for me. Just really having reciprocity, and then just having people come in with a level ground of like respect and humanity, and just some empathy too, man. somebody around here right now has like a very great idea to prepare all of us, you know what I'm saying, in each space. And that person is getting discouraged by somebody that want to tax them, $50 million for one little small thing or whatever. And last point that I want to make, is each one teach one. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to research, when it comes to study and stuff like that, or any type of information or education, like, education is very powerful. So I make sure that I pour back into my people. If I find something, hey, here you go. This might help for you, this and the third. Like those things make it brings a success that will look very good, especially for like Duval folks. I would love to see, and we have, for the most part, we have pretty cool community when it comes, especially when it comes to podcasting. Like, I feel like that's one of the easiest communities in Jacksonville that I'm part of. Like, even if I'm not at the meetups or whatever, I still interact with these people when I see them out online and all the other stuff. So it's pretty cool. But, I would just like to turn up a notch a little bit more on the things that I mentioned: reciprocity, just empathy, support, all that stuff.
Said, what is that? A rising tide lifts all boats. I think that's the vibe I got out of that. And
this is where Badr announces the Jack's Podcast Rewards. He's going to put them on every year, pay for it completely out of his day job. He don't care about the
Jack's
money.
Podathon, sometime in December. We don't plan that far. But I think everything, Al, what you're saying is summarizes what our goal for the JPU has been throughout these last couple of years, which is, why not Jax? Why can't Jax, specifically for podcasting, be a hub, a city that people think of when they think of like podcasts? Like, oh wow, no, Jax has got that community. They do these events. Like, we want everyone to be elevated. And to your point, like, that's why we throw these events and get podcasters together, is to share that knowledge for all of us to, like, learn from each other's unique experiences.
Like the one on June 3rd that everyone should be going to.
Thank you, Ryan. Which I think it is. I think this is a good stopping point. This has been a fantastic conversation. Al, thank you so much. Ryan, you were pretty okay. With that being said, ladies and gents, my name is Badr. This is the Jack. This is the JPU show, and we just finished talking with Al P. We just finished talking with Ryan Paul Thompson about this Age of Audio podcast documentary, which is fantastic. Like I said, it's not available for worldwide release just yet, but if you're in the Jacksonville or Northeast Florida area on Wednesday, June 3rd, you can watch the film for free at WJCT Public. Sorry, you can watch it at WJCT Public Media. We're screening the film at their studio room. It's a huge room. The screen is amazing. The space is awesome. It's a free event. All you got to do is RSVP, all right? I'm asking you I did all the planning. We did everything else for you. Hell, I'm even going to show you something here too. We even printed these exclusive art movie prints that we're going to be handing out for free, done by a local artist. Big shout out to Clay Doran. All right, did the poster art for us. We're giving those out for free. There's going to be popcorn. There's going to be beverages. It's going to feel like a movie, theater experience. So once again, click the link in the episode show notes. RSVP Wednesday, June 3rd, 6 p.m. We also got that panel immediately after the film. It's going to be with the director, Sean Michael Cullen, joined by a couple of local podcasters to talk about the film, to dive deeper into what we've already talked about and fully spoiler by then. So check it out. And then
don't check it on Pirate Bay.
Do not check it on Pirate Bay because it's not there. I already checked. Ryan did too.
I was like, after I ripped it, I was going to upload it. I'm like, nah, don't do it like that.
All right, Ryan, tell us about Creativerse, where people need to go to get to. I might have a link to Creativerse in the show notes, but tell us one more time about Creativerse.
If you're a creator of any kind and you're looking for some help, for some community, come out to the Creativerse conference on June 13th and 14th. You can go to jaxcreativerse.com. I'll even put in a code. I'll put in the code. I was going to make up something bad.
For plus 200%.
Use the code JPU, and we'll knock 20% off the ticket price, and we'll just make Badr pay for the difference. But yeah, it's 2 days of panels, workshops, lots of opportunities to meet other creators. Come on through.
Hell yeah. Ryan, real quick, I don't think we had a chance to say it all. Where is Creativerse taking place?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that. No, it's at the Schultz Conference Center.
Schultz Bacher Center. Yeah. I love it.
All right, by Community First.
There we go. Hey, big shout out to Community First. We love the bank, man.
There you go. That's how I sold out.
The credit unions. All right. I don't want to disrespect. Community First all day.
That's right.
Al, it wouldn't be right if we're over here like shamelessly plugging
our
stuff.
Come on.
What you got going on, man?
What do I have going on? Not much, man. Well, let me take that back.
That's a lie.
Ryan,
that is definitely.
Look,
definitely
if there's anyone that has some cool shit going on at any a moment of the week, it's Al. Al, what you really got going on?
Yeah. So from a podcasting standpoint, working on Tables Might Wobble 2. That's the narrative series that I did. The Tables Might Wobble, where I was talking about DJs. And I wanted to kind of give an insight of how DJs live and work, blah, blah, blah. So I did that first series many moons ago, I think in 2022 when I released it. So I'm working on the second series of it. So that's a narrative podcast, that's dear to me. Clear Vision's podcast, my personal podcast, I'm working on this series where I'm talking about connecting the dots, where to talk about how people should know how to connect the dots. So I'm using it from an audio standpoint. So that's from the podcasting standpoint. But as far as like DJing everywhere, MCing, starting to record again to finish another album or whatnot. So just a lot of stuff, man.
Of many hats, man. I love it. Hell yeah. Look, I'm going to have links to Al's socials, website, and all of that stuff, as well as Creativerse. Check them all out, and hopefully it won't be so long in between episodes, but this was a special occasion. First JPU event of the year coming up, so we had to get on the mics one more time. Gents, this has been great. Listeners, I love you guys. Take care. Until next time. Peace.